Frozen 2, Elsa Does Her Taxes, is a sequel to one of the most popular animated films of recent time, Cold One. I should preface this by saying I wasn't the biggest fan of the first movie. I certainly enjoyed it, but I think I've only ever watched it once or twice. It's probably like a B or C in my rating system. I'm not one of those people who just hates it because it's so popular, it just didn't really resonate with me. But anyways, Frozen 2. The story follows Elsa, Anna, Kristoff, and Olaf as they try to uncover the secret of an enchanted forest. Elsa keeps hearing a mysterious voice calling to her, and after interacting with this voice, spirits begin to mess up the kingdom of Arendelle. So to prevent further disaster, and to figure out what the heck the voice is, the heroes set out on an epic adventure. Right off the bat, I really like that this movie felt like a sequel. I know that's kind of a stupid thing to say, but this film is in no way a rehash of the first movie like a lot of sequels, especially Disney ones, tend to be. It's an entirely new premise that builds off the character development from the first movie, and brings us a totally new adventure. Elsa kinda reverts to her old self a bit, but her emo-ness is just part of her character, so that didn't bother me. And there's actually a good amount of playful mockery towards the first movie. Like Olaf gives a goofy summary of the first film's events and a few other minor things. If you're a fan of the first movie, you'll totally pick up on that stuff and think it's hilarious. It's cool that Disney would sort of make fun of themselves in the way they do here. So the story and characters were fun. Elsa and Anna have a strong sisterly bond, and Kristoff and Olaf were actually really funny side characters. They could have disappeared from the whole movie and the plot wouldn't have changed much. In fact, I feel like Kristoff does disappear from the movie for a very long time. He's funny when he's on screen, but he really isn't there for most of the movie. And by the end of the movie, he doesn't receive any sort of character development really. Though at least compared to other Disney princess stories, there is a strong wholesome romance between him and Anna. Also, he's a himbo, and despite how new the story is compared to the first movie, if you've seen any movie before, this story is extremely predictable. There were like 1 or 2 surprises for me, but for the most part, you know exactly what's going to happen. One of those surprises actually does nothing but create another obvious plot thread. But it was a pretty risky thing to do compared to other Disney movies. I'm sure it surprised a lot of kids and Frozen fans, so I gotta applaud the movie for doing something risky like that. It almost seemed like they were going to do another cool risky thing, but they didn't. They built it up like it was gonna happen, but then it just magically didn't. Probably because they needed to sell playsets. The music and visuals in this movie are great, obviously. There's a big focus on environmental effects animation, and that all looks super cool. The whole forest setting reminded me a lot of the forest from The Nightmare Before Christmas, with all the fog and the dead trees and stuff. There's some neat new character designs too, but some of them you look at and just think, oh, that's gonna sell toys. The music all sounds so grand and strongly orchestrated. There's more of a variety of music compared to the first movie, but they just aren't as classic feeling as the first movie soundtrack. Music from both of the movies never seemed like stuff I would listen to outside the context of the movie, but that's just me. Maybe they'll grow on me. I did really like how that voice calling to Elsa sounded though. That Into the Unknown song is probably the best one in the movie, and they really tried to make it the best one in the movie. It's like this movie's Let It Go, I think. But also Kristoff gets a nice and hilarious out-of-place song that I like too. So overall, if you like the first movie, you'll love this one too. I don't know if it's better than the first movie, but it's certainly a good expansion of the first one that takes the story in a natural new direction. It's gorgeous, it's musical, it's Disney. Certainly a predictable adventure, but because of the production value, it's hard not to enjoy it. Also, Jason Ritter has a small voice role, and Panic at the Disco did a song cover for this, so they were definitely pandering towards that typical Tumblr audience. It's interesting Disney recognized that fanbase exists, even though they treated Gravity Falls like trash while it was airing, even though most of the fans came from Tumblr and— oh, what am I talking about? That's totally unrelated. Definitely didn't expect this movie to make me think about Gravity Falls. But anyways, let me know what you think of this movie if you've seen it, and thanks for watching. And super special thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you like this video of mine, please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications to know when I post a new video. Also consider supporting me on Patreon.